Hello everyone, I'm staying at the Aria Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. I was going to order some food through this in-room tablet device. I cycled through the room service menu, which looked wonderful, but I'm leaning towards a takeout order from a restaurant, Din Tai Fung, which is a native Taiwanese chain that has expanded internationally. This is really a user-friendly interface that enables guests to order takeout from select on-premises dining establishments, and we're going to order some sticky sweet and sour pork ribs, some crab xiaolongbao, and now we have a cart full of dumplings and other delicacies. So I'm going to place my order. The only option is pickup, no delivery, which is fine since the restaurant is right downstairs, just around the corner from the elevator bank. You can add gratuity and specify other details, and you have to type in your name, which I'll do. And now we'll just finalize the order. It will be charged to the room. And success! We've placed our order and it will be ready in a few minutes. Let's say we go pick it up. I just picked up my order inside the restaurant. It's quite a painless process. Like most restaurants these days, they had a dedicated pickup station. And there's a little window through which you can observe how the sausage is made, or in this case, the dumplings. As you exit the restaurant, you're dumped right onto the casino floor, and it's a lively Saturday night here at the Aria. The entrance to the guest rooms and elevator banks is just past the lift bar before you get to the patisserie. I just love the casino at Aria, which very much reminds me of the fictional casino featured in the film Ocean's 13. Alright, we made it. So I'll just speed things up a bit as we complete our journey back to the guest room. And home sweet home. I'll just set things up on this little coffee table by the window so that we can dine with a view of City Center and the Las Vegas Strip. Let's see what we have here. Everything is packaged impeccably. They have individual containers of ginger and dumpling dipping sauce with chopsticks and soy sauce packets, and also some chili sauce. Everything else is boxes of dumplings, which sort of remind me of the boxes of hot wings you might get at Buffalo Wild Wings, in which each box is labeled in a standard way that indicates its contents. Now, first up is a dish classified as an appetizer, the sweet and sour pork ribs. The texture of these ribs is absolutely perfect, but I'm missing something flavor-wise. The sauce is sugary sweet, but has a strange, almost bitter aftertaste. It's somewhat similar to American-style barbecue, but perhaps less acidic, less mustardy. The bitterness likely owes itself to the preparation and some extra caramelization on the outside. In the end, I wish the pork flavor was allowed to stand on its own a bit more. Don't get me wrong, some super fatty pieces really stand out flavor-wise, but there's just something about the sauce and unnecessarily maple syrupy molasses flavor that pervades. I'd ordered the bok choy in an attempt to inject some vegetables into the dining mix, and it was a fairly standard bok choy preparation, cooked to perfection with just the right amount of crispness and no extraneous flavor to speak of. But I really enjoyed it, and the portion size was quite generous. Let's start digging into these dumplings, and we'll start with the kimchi and pork dumpling. You can tell they're homemade just through visual inspection. The dough is just beautifully molded and crimped. The filling is kind of average. It was quite mild and seemed to be missing an important element of freshness. You can barely taste the kimchi, but there's great potential here and a solid dumpling foundation on which to build. The cod dumplings were just as beautifully folded. Fish as a filling is something you may not see every day at your neighborhood Chinese restaurant, so it was a no-brainer to try these. The cod filling is mushy without being too mealy, seasoned perfectly with natural salt from the fish, giving the impression of sophisticatedly delicate fish sticks. It was a bit juicier than the pork dumplings, but there are also some vegetables in the mix that in my opinion are unnecessary and detract from the experience. Now for some soup dumplings, and we have pork and crab xiaolongbao, which surprisingly weren't so soupy. I've had xiaolongbao that were chock full of hot liquid, but these were more just moist on the inside. Having said that, the little broth present made for the best flavor of the night. It was savory, gingery, salty, and the crab and pork combination is heavenly rich. Finally, for dessert, we have an ingenious concoction, a chocolate xiaolongbao, which is more or less exactly as you'd expect. The filling is much like the center of a lava cake, and the chocolate dark, bitter, sweet, and luscious. Surprisingly, the dough does not seem terribly sweet and may very well be just a standard dumpling shell, but it seems to complement the cloyingly sweet filling quite well. The chocolate is almost Oreo-like in flavor and quite oozy, and the filling is the only thing you'll find in these dumplings. So unlike the standard xiaolongbao, in which the idea is to extract the juices first, the best way to approach this dessert dumpling is to consume just enough of the filling to make the rest of the dumpling manageable to eat whole. So what's the verdict? Well, the ordering and pickup experiences shown at the beginning of the video were great. I think every hotel in Vegas should be doing this, and there's no excuse for other hotels under MGM management to not do the same. As for the food, it was good overall, and I'm glad to have had the chance to try Din Tai Fung, which is a world-famous dumpling chain. However, everything was just a bit cold. I actually picked up the food before the appointed time, which I believe was 30 minutes from the order submission, but it had clearly been ready long before my arrival and had been sitting there for a while. I think dumplings are best eaten fresh at the restaurant, so perhaps my takeout experience would have been better at another restaurant. The chocolate xiaolongbao, which didn't suffer as much from the shelf time, was easily the highlight of the night. So my advice to you, if you're craving dumplings and you want variety, Din Tai Fung at the Aria is highly recommended, but you may want to literally suck it up and dine at the restaurant. Until next time, Marsh W13 out.